اهلا وسهلا بالجميع. حياكم الله. اهلا وسهلا بالجميع. كيف الصوت؟ ان شاء الله يكون واضح.
Mind the wind. Easy now, Kakuku.
Let's hope you'll pull up a good fight.
Up and away!
Nothing
Here
personal.
Japan!
Here comes.
That was quick. Let her rip!
Mind the wind.
My experiment will succeed.
اهلا وسهلا بالجميع. نستكمل المهمة.
Gone Winery's dandelion wine.
When you're mixing drinks in hot weather, start by pouring in cold water and add ice cubes. Then drain out the water before adding the other ingredients. How's that for a secret recipe? Maybe it's worth a little intel in return.
Please. I've known that little trick for a good 10 years.
I know there's no one else in the tavern right now, but do you two really need to talk so loudly? Especially if you're supposed to be exchanging confidential information.
Rosaria! D-Luke! I knew we'd find you here.
Looks like it's about to get even noisier.
A little liveliness never...
Please allow me to once again express my sincere condolences regarding your late father and the incident with Eric. I hope you will give some serious consideration to the question I asked you before I left, though I'm sure you're tired of hearing me ask by now.
From the look on your face, I'm guessing the Grand Master is still refusing to drink.
He nags like an old man. It's hardly surprising.
Huh? Drop what? What's this about?
Nothing, really. Before leaving on the expedition, Fاركا came here to chat with me over a drink. He, asked me if I'd consider rejoining the Knights of Favonius, and I declined. He expressed his regret about everything.
Yeah, right. Sounds like you skipped a lot of details. There's clearly more to it.
Whatever details I chose to omit are in the past. Dragging them back,
You say that now, but back then, you couldn't let it go.
I wasn't seeing the full picture. I've had a lot of time to reflect since then. But my answer remains unchanged. Both the Grandmaster and the acting Grandmaster are... I can't see the shadows that lurk beneath them due to the size of the organization they lead.
If I had a Mora for every time I've heard you repeat that argument.
When you join an organization, you're bound by its rules, no matter how free it may seem on the surface.
You think so? Never mind the Knights. Have you honestly ever—
Good question. Have you considered that maybe that's why I chose to—
Are they arguing or not? It's kind of hard to tell. Oh, kind of like the contingencies Jean was.
What should I report back to the Grand Master on? Let me think. Public order inside the city? Monster activity in the wild? Oh, and a review of the latest vintages.
If you hadn't had to deliver that guy's mail, you wouldn't have been subjected to all this tedious arguing. When I write back, I'll tell him to quit making trouble for other people.
It's no trouble. Lowen did most of the work. We just volunteered to do the last leg of the journey. Mostly so we could come say hello.
So you see what's really going on here?
Huh? Scheme? What do you mean? Was Fاركا lying in his letter?
No. There are people like Kaya and I. And then there are those who are true champions of justice to the core. Those people are the most susceptible to being driven to extremes by great upheaval. Not only that, but it happened to a Knight of Boreas. That'll really hit home for Fárka. Yeah. So no one's told you this before? The lineage of the Knights of Boreas had nearly been extinguished twice in history. The first—
Oh! Wasn't Jean telling us about this? Wait. And then we got caught up talking about the expedition, and we never got around to the second time.
I happened to hear about it from Fárka once when he was drinking and started yammering on. The second crisis in the Knights of Boreas lineage. It was 500 years ago. Although the Knights of Boreas are meant to be intermediaries between humans and wolves, in practice, very few of them have been truly recognized by Lupus Boreas over the past millennium. Of those who have, the best known are the first Knight of Boreas, Ravenwood, the wolf pup Rostam, and Varka himself. But 500 years ago, there was one who earned the respect of Boreas even before gaining the title. He was a disciple of Rostam. They thought he would become the mightiest knight of Boreas who ever lived. He was the perfect knight. Righteous, principled. His name was Roland, the blood-stained knight.
Yikes! Bloodstained Knight? That sounds a little ominous.
Well, apparently his original title was the White Knight. But he lost countless comrades during the Abyssal Calamity 500 years ago, including his tutor and mentor, Rostam. The endless bloodshed stained his sword and armor a crimson as deep as black, transforming the White Knight into the blue. After that, he threw himself completely into battling monsters, leaving Mondstadt and the Knights of Favonius. It's hard to say whether the loss of an important figure in his life is what drove him to the point of obsession, or whether he was already too far. But had he known that the Knights of Favonius would always welcome him back, perhaps things would have turned out differently. So if you want my opinion, the reason why Varka keeps asking Diluc to rejoin, despite knowing that he'll never say yes, is to let him know you're not alone. After all these years, he's still as persistent as ever. Just like how he used to be with me.
Huh. Turns out Varka's a lot more thoughtful than he lets on. Paimon had the wrong idea about him. Anyway, there's still something about this whole Boreas business that Paimon isn't really getting. Wasn't Andreas if so, why did Jean say that Boreas and the Wandering Knight only arrived here just 1,000 years ago? Plus, Paimon's super curious about what happened to Roland. That's a great idea! Jean said he hasn't been showing himself much lately, but he always seems happy to oblige whenever you show up. What?
deserve to dust. The night comes.
Are you all right? Oh no! What now? You scared Paimon stiff!
Stop right there! Answer me this. The 2 letters I gave you, who are they for?
Two letters? Wasn't it 3?
Okay. Well, Paimon's coolest naive expression doesn't appear to be an act.
Hey! What are you trying to say? Wait. What? Oh, Paimon passed a test? Really? Ha! She didn't even realize she was taking one!
You may dispense with your suspicions. The wolf pack has borne witness. They fought against the aberrations that encroached upon this. A familiar scent.
Well, if the boss of Wolvendom has vouched for you, I guess I should apologize for doubting you just now. Sure was. Fortunately, my experience in Nodcry didn't go to waste. Turns out the Wild Hunt all feel the same when you stab them. They didn't stand a chance. Something seems wrong with that old wolf, though. Go on.
Lupus Boreas, not injured. Why so weak? Am I not strong enough?
You are not to blame. With your Iron Claw, you successfully blocked their attack. They followed my trail from the distant north across the ley lines. They sought to corrupt the territory I protect. But I shall not let them succeed without... We meet again, human Lupical.
So...
As you know, I stand before you as an incomplete being. The source of this turmoil. I can sense it.
Huh? Now Paimon's even more confused. How can you be in 2 places at once?
For many gods, housing a part of their soul within an object is no difficult feat. But those who can perform such delicate partitions as this are rare, even among the gods. The Wolf King, Andrius, was particularly adept in this art. Otherwise, no remnants of his soul...
Huh? The bard's back?
Tone-deaf bard? What are you doing here?
Maybe the god of Animo guided me here. For it appears that someone is in need of a tale from the distant past. And our wolf... Who better than a bard to do the honors? Lord Boreas, do I have your blessing to share this? Lupus Boreas wandered the frozen tundra and stumbled into the Seelie Hall. Enchanted by their song, tender as the dawn's starlight, and curious about the ways of humankind, the wolf bade farewell to his home and set off for the city to the south. As the high tower crumbled and the fierce winds fell silent, Lupus Boreas, who once had hunted with the storm winds himself, looked within and inquired, was the shelter he provided for humanity really any different from that given by the reclusive king in his tower? The wolf entrusted those under his protection to a new god and quietly returned to the frozen north. 500 bitter winters passed,
then 500 equally frigid springs. He slumbered undisturbed until a knight stumbled in from the cold, just as Lupus Boreas had once done at the Sealy Hall, and awoke him at long last. The knight asked, seeing how the ice and snow had given way to verdant plains, hearing the laughter and song that now filled the once somber city. The aging Lupus Boreas turned to his friend, the god of Animo, and remarked, "So, this is the world the humans dreamed of." Though the knight's journey was not yet over, the wolf chose to bid farewell to his companion here. He had written the end to his story. What knowledge he had been gifted flowed into the land. Everything he was, he gave unto the world. Well, that's how a bard would tell the tale. Lord Boreas, is there anything you'd like to add?
There is no need for you to ask that question.
So that's what happened. You returned to Mondstadt with that knight 1,000 years ago, and then, for the sake of the new
You need not feel remorse on my account. That was my answer. If anyone should feel regret, it is the part of me who remained in Notcry. That is surely why those vile aberrations were able to exploit his weakness. So...
But we followed Boreas' trail in Notcry. We investigated and discovered no signs of instability.
Andrea should still be slumbering by the lakeside. Perhaps all the recent turmoil in Notcry, and there's more. I detect another familiar scent from across the ley lines. A scent that reeks of blood.
Oh, the White Knight who became the Bloodstained Knight? The mightiest knight of Boreas? But wasn't he from 500 years ago? You think he's a...
I remember him as just a man. His lifespan should be no longer than any other of his kind. But before it was the ancient kingdom of Conria, as you call it. Beyond that...
If you want to get to the bottom of this, I'm afraid you'll have to make another trip to Nodcry yourselves. As luck would have it, another old friend of ours just so happens to be free right now. If you ask him nicely, he might give you a lift. That could save you a lot of time on...
No wonder I can suddenly sense the East Wind's presence.
If even Mondstadt has been affected by the fallout, Nodcry must be in real trouble by now. I hope Varka can handle it.
Varka? Is he in danger?
I believe too many passengers would slow our dear friend down. I fear he only has room to carry one person, along with perhaps a diminutive companion.
All right. Wish it could be me, but I accept that we should send our strongest warrior to fight Nodcry's battles. I'll stay here and deal with any wild hunt that try harassing Mondstadt.
I stay in Mondstadt too. With Traveler's help, Varka will be safe.
Razor, give me your iron claw. Golden-haired traveler, it is a wolf spirit. It contains my power and thoughts.
The Dominator of Wolves once bestowed the power of his soul upon his pack, strengthening their hearts and sharpening their claws and fangs.
But human hearts and flesh cannot bear the soul of a wolf directly. It would be akin to forcefully merging a human to prevent the entanglement of souls. The most I can do is temporarily house my power and thoughts. Although, truth be told, that knight does not lack for power. What he needs more is the great wolf king of the north remains strong for now. Besides...
I will protect Lupakal. The North and Varka?
Just give me the word whenever you're ready. Any questions before you set off? Better ask now. You'll probably... All right. Over to you, Dvalin!
The Knight of Boreas awaits below. We must part ways here. Barbatos and I have other plans. We will meet you again later.
All right. Hey, wait. How are we getting down?
Hold the line! The enemy's on the brink of collapse!
Grandmaster! It's...
Haha! Reinforcements! It's about time!
And Paimon too!
We're just about hanging in there. Most of their grunts are taken care of now. Their leader's gonna have to make a decision soon. Fight or flight? What will it be, mightiest knight of Boreas?
As expected, this hastily summoned Wild Hunt horde is nothing but a disorganized rabble. A mere shadow of the forces gathered by the Rehirs, but they have served their purpose. I now understand your tactics, and you, in turn, understand my farewell, heir to the knighthood of Boreas. Whether you choose to resist me or not, I shall set
Guess they're retreating for now.
So that Wolf of the North look-alike, that was Andreas? But why would he be leading the Wild Hunt? And why was he talking about the Bloodstained Knight? Ugh, forget that. We can save the details for later. He was the enemy boss, right? Are we just gonna...
There's no point chasing after him. We've crossed blades already, and it ended in a stalemate. Right now, there's nothing we could do about him. True. We're still not certain of his true identity, but whether he's a god corrupted by the Abyss or a legendary knight, killing him might be just about possible, especially now that you're here. The difficult part is, we can't kill him right now.
Huh? What do you mean? Is he immortal or something?
No. Judging from our skirmishes so far, I don't think he's got any special abilities of that caliber. Nor does he have the But compared to Rerir, our current foe clearly has a better understanding of how to exploit Nodcry to his advantage. Particularly when it comes to Andreas' remnant soul. Exactly. Sounds like you realize what the crux of the issue is. I managed to cut off a sample from our foe, which Albedo and Durin are analyzing as we speak. Meanwhile, our other allies should be making their way home. We still have some big challenges ahead before this expedition can finally be declared a victory.
gonna be in the biggest tent, right? Looks like a bunch of people are there already. Why don't we go chat with them?
Short distance propulsion module on cooldown. 15 minutes until next departure. Switching to chat mode. Hello there, Paimon. Travel. Fاركا placed a sizable order with the Clink Clink Krumkake craft shop. I know is hard at work producing the strategic reserve, while I am handling the deliveries. Secondly, I am also here to attend the meeting in her place.
Hey, Honorary Knight. Looks like pretty much everyone's here. Oh, Beto and Durin are just wrapping up their analysis. You want to wait for them here? Great. And that's where things stand. The Wild Hunt is no longer under the Reikir of Solnari's control, but it has been reborn from the ashes and is now launching widespread attacks. Intel from the Frost Moon Scions and the Curatorium of Secrets corroborates this. No disturbances have been detected in the space where Rerir resides. What we are facing here is a
Summarizing current situation. To confirm, the present leader of the Wild Hunt is the creature resembling a wolf.
More precisely, it's the external will that has seized control of Andrias' spirit, namely Roland, the Bloodstained Knight.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. I'm completely lost. Isn't Roland some monstatter from like 500 years ago? How'd he suddenly get wrapped up with a god from 1,000 years in the past and the present-day Wild Hunt?
Allow us to explain that part. Are you familiar with compensation mechanisms? When an organism sustains damage, relevant tissues will undergo changes to offset the loss of function. For example, when one kidney is damaged, the other will be strengthened to compensate. Or, when a main artery is blocked, the collateral vessels become more active. Similarly, when the Wild Hunt lost their leader, the Abyss harnessed the memories that flow throughout the ley lines to fashion a new one, fit for the present circumstances. That new leader is a mirror image of Roland, the Bloodstained Knight.
Right. No matter how strong the compensation is, it will never quite match the functionality of the original organ. The Roland replica can't possibly imitate Rerir's overwhelming power, nor his ability to disguise himself as others. So, the Abyss made use of the connection between Roland and Boreas to compensate for this lack of power.
The replica corrupted and took control of Andrias as he slumbered by the bank of Amsvartnir, ultimately manifesting as the giant beast that you all witnessed. However, exactly why the Abyss chose Roland to mimic?
I guess he must have gotten caught up with the Abyss or Nodcry somehow during his wanderings through Tevat. But we can keep those questions on the back burner.
Okay, Paimon gets all that, but what did you mean when you said we can't?
We can't kill him right now because a dead god may prove more dangerous than a living one. From intelligence gathered during the expedition, we have reason to believe that the power released when a god is felled can have catastrophic consequences for us mortals. Worse still, the wrath that remains after a god's passing becomes a source of endless turmoil. Once god remains contaminate the land, they will persist for this land has already been ravaged by the Wild Hunt. If we add god remains to the mix, it'd be like adding salt to an open wound, placing everyone who lives here in perilous danger.
Query. While I can indeed find records of disasters caused by god remains in my database, there also appear to be cases of gods dying naturally with no ill effects. In Natlan, the passing of the Pyro-Archon's flame is a common occurrence throughout history, and even the part of Andreas who remains in Mondstadt.
Great question. Glad you asked. Honorary Knight, you said Lupus Boreas gave you a token to pass on to me? Please, present it now. It should help explain things faster. Come forth, Boreas!
This form has come to the end of its time. I'm afraid I can accompany you no further on your journey. My soul will fall into silence, and my power will flow into the ley lines of this land. Do not grieve for me, for this is the end I have chosen. Instead, remember that one day, your wandering too must come. A final wish before I slumber.
You saw it too. You must have keen powers of perception. Not that it surprises me. That was Boreas' final thoughts before merging with the ley lines. It's the reason Mondstadt remains unharmed by his god remains. In his final moments, he made a choice to give everything he was to the ley lines. All to protect Mondstadt from harm.
Sounds like Andreas spent thousands of years searching for his place in the world, too.
Yes. And now our task is to return the answer he found, the decision he made. Only then can he break free from the corruption and control of the Abyss, and make that decision once more.
I see. I would say that planting thoughts inside the mind of a god sounds a little far-fetched, but since it was his own wish to begin with, it sounds feasible to me.
Wait, we already have a perfect solution? Then
Ha ha ha. If only it were that simple. Unfortunately, this one thought alone is unlikely to be powerful enough to break. We need to find a way to make the thought within this sword stronger and more resilient.
For now, Boreas needs all his remaining strength to fight against the abyssal corruption to Mondstadt's ley lines. He can't afford to send us any more. However, since his form was unstable during his journey with the first Knight of Boreas, many wolf spirit fragments were left behind along the way. If we can collect those fragments, we can use them to strengthen the decision to merge with the ley lines.
اهلا وسهلا بالجميع يا اخوان، شاركونا البث، دعمونا يا اخوان، حطوا لايكات، تعليقات.
So we need to retrace his steps and look for random fragments? But they could be anywhere between Nodcry and Mondstadt. It'll be like looking for a needle in...
You don't need to worry about that. There's a few fragments left to gather in Nodcry, but apart from that, most of them are already inside this sword. I've been collecting them during the whole expedition.
Huh? Wait, really?
I mean, it's an expedition, not a stroll in the park. Each step of the way, we've been hard at work planning for every possible contingency. Not just the wild hunt in the Abyss, but ancient gods remaining in Nodcry.
Sounds like this plan was a long time in the making. It's almost as if you... First,
as a matter of fact, I did. I caught a glimpse of fate's reflection. But I can't take credit for it. It was all thanks to the help of a few friends. Still, all I foresaw was that an abyssal calamity was brewing in the north. Had I known more, instead, we've had to make best guesses, prepare for every possible scenario. If all that preparation went to waste, all the better for it. But anything that proved useful, we knew we'd be grateful for down the line. Sure is. Just one crucial step remains. We need to gather the last few wolf spirit fragments scattered around Nodcry, and use them to make the thought within this sword as strong as it could possibly be. According to what Boreas told me before we left Mondstadt, but of course...
Okay, so 3 more mini-expeditions to go.
I managed to gather one fragment before Roland reappeared. I also have a confirmed location for the second, which I'll take care of in short order. As for the third fragment, we've identified a general search area to focus on. But we'll need all hands on deck to pit. The final snag is that since our foe is a replica of Roland, he too will be aware of Andrias' history. He's sure to try and sabotage our plans by any means at his disposal. So everyone...
With our foe being from Mondstadt, it's our duty as Mondstadters to defeat him.
And since the Wild Hunt is involved, the Lightkeepers will provide their full support.
The Clink Clink Krumkake craft shop will also help in any way we can.
So what do they need me here for? Wait, I think maybe I signed a contract at some point. Didn't exactly scrutinize it though.
Ah, great. Knew I could count on you all. Lastly, our friend from the Curatorium of Secrets will provide intel and relay battlefield communications.
So, you'll be darting back and forth across the battlefield, dodging the Wild Hunt and the shadow of an ancient god. I'm impressed by your courage, Miss Yehoda.
Rating for Yehoda updated. Higher quality ingredients will be used to prepare your future meals.
Darn it! I should have known this payday wouldn't come that easy.
I'll deal with the second wolf spirit fragment, which we already know the location of. The moment you make any progress with Fragment 3, be sure to give me an update. Traveler, could you join me in retrieving Fragment 2? I have a feeling that your unique constitution... All right, time is of the essence. Let's move out, people.
Didn't you say Fragment 2 was supposed to be right here? Where the heck is it?
Seems like we've run into a slight hindrance. Can I leave this to you, Honorary Knight? Traveler, Paimon, when this is all over, I'm gonna invite you around for a drink of...
Whoa, whoa! Stop thinking about Mondstadt's wine and get your head in the game! You can't be daydreaming about alcohol before a battle!
Huh? Well, all right, just trying to lift our spirits a little. You want to see some photos I took of me and the knights before the expedition, maybe?
Shut up, shut up, shut up! Can we please just focus on finding the wolf spirit fragment? Is this what we're looking for? What do we do?
I once got Boreas to explain to me how he stores his soul inside objects. All I need to do is transfer it to my sword. Just like back at the camp, but this time, you'd best step back a bit, just in case.
So, you're saying you don't know how to love people, and you don't understand human love either.
Why do you laugh?
Sorry, I just think the fact you're ruminating on this is all the proof you need that you have love in your heart. I have a funny feeling that by the time this journey ends, you'll have found your own answer to the question of how to love.
No, you're wrong. There is no redemption at the end of this path. Even if I am stained black with blood, my conscience will remain as white as snow. If pledging allegiance to the Abyss is the only way to sever the injustice of fate, then I shall serve in its name.
Ugh! Oh, sure enough. This place has been corrupted by Roland's will. Whew. I'm fine. I was prepared for this. It wasn't enough to pose. We got here just in time. The fragment hasn't been fully corrupted yet. Assuming we can undo the damage, it should still be usable. Purifying the abyssal corruption would definitely be a safe approach. But that's not the only reason I wanted you to come. Could you try reversing the corruption? Not purifying it, exactly, but separating out the Roland part from the wolf spirit.
So, keep the Roland part intact as well as the wolf spirit part?
Firstly, to test whether it's possible. And secondly, let me think. How is it explained to me? Ah, yes. Focus on a single thought within the 1,000 winds. Capture that unique wisp before it blows away. Ha 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 ha! Actually, neither do I.
Huh. Sounds like something a certain tone-deaf bard would come up with when he can't think of anything meaningful to say.
I thought it might mean something to you. Never mind. I'll explain it in more human terms. Traveler, when you were in Natland, you went fishing for ancient names, correct? If I'm not mistaken, the Night Kingdom was like a river flowing with concepts, and you were trying to capture the concept belonging to a particular ancient name. I'm thinking the same basic principles should apply here.
Okay, but back then, we had a boat and a...
This wolf spirit fragment is like a puddle compared to the Night King.
Thoughts and emotions are like interwoven threads. They can create a net, or they can create a rope. Thought is the anchor for a being's existence, through which emotions are drawn forth.
Also, we barely know anything about Roland. How are we supposed to use thoughts to anchor him?
Well, maybe you could try this.
What is it? It looks old and tattered.
It's an unsent letter, written by the wolf pup Rostam, Knight of Boreas, from 500 years ago. It was meant for his disciple, the White Knight Roland. After Rostam lost his life in the Abyssal Calamity, Roland left Mondstadt to wander to Vat. Grandmaster Arundelen had wanted to deliver this letter, but trying to track Roland down was like chasing a shadow. He never did find him. And so this letter has been sitting at the Knights of Favonia's headquarters ever...
Quite the antique, then. But how exactly is it supposed to anchor Roland?
Yeah, I'm honestly not sure.
Hey! What happened to Mr. Plans for every contingency?
What can I say? Some people like to wait till they've got all their ducks in a row before taking the first step, but I prefer to dive on in and plan as I go. I've been doing it that way for the whole expedition. But anyway, don't they say that poetry and letters were humanity's earliest means of expressing their thoughts? Can't hurt to give it a try, surely. actually worked?
You really are making this up as you go along!
So the assimilation of souls really can be reversed, just like he said.
If what you say is true, the monsters I've slain, the justice I have sought to uphold, for mortals to escape a great and ancient kingdom was wrongfully cursed, turning its inhabitants into monsters! The code of chivalry tolerates not such injustice. If abyss be thy name, I pledge to you my loyalty.
And that is where the blood-stained knight's tale came to an end. With that, he bade his humanity farewell. I dare say you must find it quite ironic, knight.
That I... Dainsleif? No. Bore a striking resemblance, but that wasn't him. While we gazed into the past, he was gazing right back at us. Could it be? So that's what happened. After leaving Mondstadt and wandering the land, Roland ventured underground and saw a revelation from the visionary. Once he had learned of Conria's fate, he saw the gods' judgment as the greatest injustice, giving them his knowledge, his power, his everything.
Uh-oh! Does this mean we have to take on the visionary this time?
I'm inclined to agree. If our enemy could see the future, both the Wild Hunt and Roland would be acting with far more lethal precision. But even without the Visionary's input, Roland still has an intel advantage we can't afford to underestimate. Every minion of the Wild Hunt serves as Roland's eyes and ears. We need to think one step ahead if we want to outmaneuver him. And on that note, I have a plan I want to discuss with you. Well, the fewer people who know, the less likely it is to get leaked. Besides, it wasn't a fully formed plan. That about covers it. Sorry to ask so much of you again. No plan is free of risks. At least this one actually gives us a shot at fully eliminating the danger. If I fail, Anselm and Albedo can take the reins. Not to mention we still have Jean in Mondstadt.
Oh, there has to be another way! Like a backup plan?
If only there were. But I don't think our enemy will give us enough time to find one. Ah, Yehoda! Yes, we've successfully retrieved the Wolf Spirit fragment here.
Nope! It's a total disaster! More Wild Hunt monsters than I've seen in my whole life! We need backup urgently! Come quick!
Come on, we're out of time. You'll just have to try...
تعبت. القصة هذه أخلصها لبكرة. نخلص المهام اليومية. بعد 80 بدي قديش بدي؟ تمام.
He who wishes to peer into the abyss.
شو في عندي أنا هون؟ constellation. 9. راح اجيب فيهم كتب هذول احسن لي. راح اجيب شوية كتب. شو اسمه 1026. يعني لو بدي شو تسوي يعني. روح فاشلة. في احسن من الستة بس انا بدي اياه عشان الكتاب. هذا انسى امره.
What was that? Oh, it's gone.
اسطورية.
Can I go take a look?
Defensive mode.
Search. Confirmed. Absorption test.
Close your eyes. Observe. Here
ashtray. Add ashtray. Thank you for This realm is... If you ever have any questions...